He's back. We've been waiting for this one. Obi-Wan Kenobi, Part 3. Let's break it down. Alright, so Part 3 of the new Obi-Wan Kenobi series is now on Disney+. I think this is the best episode yet. Had a ton of fun watching this one. Some really exciting stuff going on in this episode. First of all, Vader Returns. This is the full return of Darth Vader to the Star Wars franchise. We haven't seen him in anything since Rogue One. It was really exciting getting to see him back on screen. Hayden Christensen is playing the role of Darth Vader. He is actually in the suit in these scenes. The opening of this episode, we actually get to see him suiting up. So it's cutting back and forth between Hayden Christensen suiting up as Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi calling out to his master Qui-Gon Jinn. They've set this up ever since the first episode. So Qui-Gon is definitely coming back. I'm pretty sure they're going to get Liam Neeson back. No one else can play that role. So I'm looking forward to seeing him return as well. But yes, like I said, Hayden Christensen is back in the role of Anakin Skywalker / Darth Vader. And they also got James Earl Jones to return as the voice of Vader. This actor is 91 years old, and he's still playing the role he originated back in 1977. And he sounds great. I don't know if they did anything digitally to his voice. You could kind of tell he was a little older in Rogue One. And in some things he did in the animated series Rebels, but I think here he sounds phenomenal. Whatever they did, whatever he did, he sounds really good as Darth Vader here. The suit looks awesome as always. It's the classic Darth Vader look. I'm not sure if they changed anything, but it looked like the traditional Darth Vader suit. And he finally shows up here in his castle on Mustafar, which we did get a glimpse of in Rogue One. Here we get to see a little bit more of it. And he is contacted by the third sister, Reva. She is our main antagonist in this series, and she obviously wants a seat next to Vader. She wants to be the Grand Inquisitor and be basically second in command to Lord Vader himself. And we can see there's a lot of infighting between the Inquisitors. They clearly don't like each other, and they're all vying for that top spot. The fifth brother says it's his turn, he's next in line, but Reva obviously has different plans. So it was cool to see that dynamic as well. The best stuff in this episode, and the best stuff in the series thus far, is everything between Obi-Wan Kenobi and Leia Organa. The young actress playing Leia is doing a phenomenal job. And of course, Ewan McGregor is, as always, great as Kenobi, and he's in a totally different place here than we've seen him before. And these two characters are really having an effect on one another. You can tell Leia's kind of growing up a little bit. She's learning that not all people are good. And Obi-Wan is actually learning from her, I think, too, and that he's gaining a little bit more hope for the future. He's in a very low place here. He's just finding out now that Anakin is still alive. And so that's having a major effect on who he is and what he's doing here. As Ben and Leia are on this planet, they're trying to look for these people to help them get across the galaxy, get Leia back home. They have a lot of interesting conversations. They meet this guy, I think his name's Freck, who's got this little speeder that they get on. They find out he's an Imperial sympathizer, and so that's a little bit dangerous. They end up picking up some stormtroopers. Very tense situation. But they end up getting through it. But through the course of this journey they're on through this planet, they have this great conversation about Padme, Leia's mother, who she never knew, and obviously Obi-Wan knew quite well. And so that was an excellent scene. I really enjoyed that. They also revealed that Obi-Wan has a brother and a family that he doesn't really remember, but he remembers this baby. And so he thinks he has a brother out there somewhere. So I don't know if they'll end up going somewhere with that, or if that was just a kind of a moment of a kind of connection between him and Leia, because obviously Leia has a brother out there that she doesn't know about. I don't know if what they'll do with that, but I thought that was an interesting connection that they made. Once they get to this checkpoint, there's this huge battle with these stormtroopers. Obi-Wan and Leia are trying to escape. You think they're caught, and then learn that there's a spy who helps them out and kind of takes them to this underground railroad for Jedi, essentially. These underground passageways to get any Force-sensitive children out and away from Vader and these Inquisitors who are pursuing them. And before they enter the tunnel, Obi-Wan sees a message written on the wall by Quinlan Voss. Quinlan Voss, Star Wars fans will know from the Clone Wars animated series. He is a character who teamed up with Obi-Wan in that series, in which they battled Cad Bane, the bounty hunter many will know from the Book of Boba Fett. So that was a nice Easter egg for the fans of that series, a little connection that they made. I don't think Quinlan Voss will show up in the show, but we know he's still out there. But before they can escape, the Inquisitors show up with a legion of stormtroopers, and then none other than Darth Vader himself appears in this village, and he starts wrecking shop. He starts destroying these families. There's this family in this house. He starts choking them with the Force. He snaps one of their necks. I mean, it is a brutal sequence where we're seeing Vader just on a rampage through this village as he's tracking down Obi-Wan Kenobi, who he's been looking for over 10 years now. So as Leia escapes, we find Kenobi facing off with Vader for the first time since Episode 3. We're seeing these two face off against one another, and it's really a one-sided fight. Ben is out of his element. He's weak. He's not strong with the Force as he once was. So it's not quite their duel that they had on Mustafar in Episode 3. It's very different. And Vader even tells him, over the years you've grown weak. And we see these two engage in this lightsaber duel that, Kenobi's barely able to stand up against him. He eventually loses the saber, gets dragged through the fire as Vader burns him and wants him to experience the same pain that he felt on Mustafar. And so it's really Vader's vengeance. He's enacting his revenge on Kenobi in this sequence, and it is difficult to watch. And then the spy comes back, and the spy who was taking Leia through the tunnels shows up, blasts some of the stormtroopers, and her droid is able to get Kenobi to safety. We also see a sequence in which Reva discovers these tunnels. Before she discovers them, she sees the Jedi Order symbol on the wall, and she gets very angry at this. I think they're setting up that she is one of the Padawans we saw in the very first episode's opening scene when we saw the Jedi Temple attacked by the clones during Order 66. And I think her connection to the Jedi, possibly her connection to Anakin, and maybe even Kenobi, is going to tie into the series in the episodes that are coming up. Finally, the final scene is Leia and Reva together, and we don't know what's going to happen. Leia runs away. We assume Reva is going to capture her. We'll have to wait and find out next week what happens, but I thought this was a solid episode overall. Great character development. I just really enjoy spending time in this universe with these characters. They had some good action. The lightsaber duel wasn't the best. I think they're building to a bigger one later on. This was kind of just a tease and a hint at what we're going to get in future episodes. But overall, really enjoyed it. There was some subtle humor that I enjoyed as well throughout. And so, yeah, had a lot of fun with this one. Again, I think it's the best one yet. And I'm really looking forward to what they do next. Thank you for joining us here on The Real World. Let us know what your thoughts are on this latest episode below in the comments. Be sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the bell to get notifications, and we'll see you next time, right here on The Real World.